Star students! Welcome back to the Astro Study Room. I'm Ember Faye, your friendly neighborhood fire fairy witch.
And I'm Jordan, a university librarian by day and a dedicated astrology student by night. And yes, welcome back to the Astro Study Room.
Our goal for this podcast is to feel like a group of badass students of all levels gathering to explore, reflect, question, and connect with the cosmos. No matter where you're at in your spiritual or astrology journey, learning's a forever game. Growth is cyclical, curiosity is sacred, and we are so happy that you're here to wander around the universe with us. So if you'd like, grab your notes and pens, some water, and just bring yourself in an open mind.
So, whether you identify as an astrologer, a witch, a wizard, a mystic, a spiritual seeker, or simply a curious human, you belong here. This is a study room for everyone and for all of it. Every other Tuesday, we'll be exploring different astrology and spiritual topics, sometimes teaching, sometimes reflecting, and sometimes just chatting and wondering out loud together. If you're into it, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave a review. And just know you can always come hang out with us in the study room. And I do want to put an extra emphasis here that we would really love to see some feedback from you all, seeing you hear it on every podcast, but leaving reviews specifically on Apple Podcasts is what helps podcasts get discovered. And we have been doing this for over a year now. And if you've been listening, and we know that there are listeners, we would love to hear from you.
Especially Jordan. Jordan
You
would
don't want to
love.
hear from them?
I feel like it's your make or break. I'm not gonna keep going if nobody
No, it's not
leaves.
like that. I just I want to know that there are people and that we're not talking to nobody.
I thought I was talking to you. Was that not funny? Was that I'm feeling particularly pessimistic today. I apologize.
I wasn't gonna keep all that in, but that is such a Virgo thing to say that I'm considering it.
Don't forget that after you give us a review on Apple Podcasts, you can follow us at the Astro Study Room on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, we are also live on YouTube. And so if you're more of a visual person, want to check out how adorable we are, you can check us out on there. And Jordan, how can people get an astrology reading with you?
I do natal chart and solar return consultations where we can talk about what your soul intends for you for this lifetime. And I also offer cosmic check-ins where we can talk about any current transits going on, or if you want dedicated time to ask any questions about your chart or certain placements in your chart, we can talk about any of it and all of it. What about you, Ember?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube under Ember Fae Magic. And of course, you can sign up for my newsletter or take my free quiz on discovering your sensual shadow archetype. And speaking of the quiz, those archetypes do have workbooks associated with them that I've created to help you dive deeper into these shadows. So make sure you check them out at my website, linked in the show notes, or in my socials.
And I know we didn't talk about this before recording, so you don't know that I'm about to bring this up, but we aren't making an episode about it, but I did want to just acknowledge that we are aware of the Stephen Forrest issue and we did put a statement on Instagram, but we're not gonna redo our whole schedule to talk about it. So we're
We
aware of
may
it and
next time.
yeah, I mean, yeah. We're aware and we have feelings, so check Instagram for said feelings. What are we gonna talk about today though? You saw it in the title, but what are we gonna talk about today?
We are talking about
Virgo!
Virgo. Virgo.
Ugh, all right.
So buckle up, star students. Class is officially out and the study room is in session. All right, everyone, as we go through our deep dive, we want to remind you that the zodiac signs are present in our charts. Each sign occupies a house based on your rising sign. So even if you don't have a prominent placement or it's not in your big three, quote unquote, like your rising moon and sun sign, make sure you take a look at your house and see what house Virgo is in for you and notice if you have any planets in there.
Yeah, well said. Something that I start with every time. Ember, what do you know about Virgo? What are your feelings about Virgo? What is the vibe you currently have?
My brother is a Virgo sun, so he is my reference, and I think the first thing that comes to mind is the perfectionist tendencies, and I feel like the shadows of Virgo of just having a lot of anxiety of things not being perfect. Um, I know that like Virgo is one of like it's like the pure sign, like the Virgo, I don't know, right? Like isn't there like cleansing or something involved with Virgo, like the
There's
virgin?
healing, and then like one of the words is like the virgin.
Yeah, 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 like the maiden. Okay. Yeah. So which is so interesting to me. This like idea of like the perfect maiden. But I know it's like a feminine sign, it's an earth-based sign. It's mutable.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. So yeah, so like you mentioned, it is a feminine mutable earth sign ruled by Mercury. So it shares Mercury with Gemini. It's one of our earth signs, and it is, you want to say that it's like fluid and adaptable because of the mutability, but because of the earth, it is the least mutable of the mutable signs.
I like what you said. The least mutable because it's an earth sign, which is like
Right.
an earth is very steadfast and
Right.
fixed. Okay. Huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is why
Uh,
like Taurus is like the most fixed of the fixed signs because
because
it's
it's the fixed.
yeah, yeah.
And so what are our keywords, Jordan, when we think about Virgo?
So some that I have are critical. Virgo has like a good level of patience, like so yeah, I guess patient.
Is that like an earth-based thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Patient, detail oriented, like you said, perfectionist, practical, responsible, resourceful, methodical, which is very mercurial, overthinkers, harsh, anxious, and also like a devil's advocate.
Oh my God. Can I be the devil's advocate?
Yeah,
Just
like
the devil's
Virgo.
advocate here.
Yeah, Virgo. Some say like Virgo kind of, really Mercury, I think, like kind of sees the world in binaries and it's either a zero or it's a one. It's a yes or a no. It's good or it's bad. So there's a little bit of like, and also Virgo being a thinker type sign, can really have a good debate and know the other side, I guess.
I think that makes a lot of sense, right? We talked a lot about our Mercury episode. I think like Mercury is so fascinating. It's still one of the planets that we did that just like still fascinates the crap out of me of this like in between planet of like between the subconscious and the conscious and this communication. And being able to, like you said, see both sides of something.
Yeah,
I find
that's a
that
good way to
so
put it. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. I think that's so interesting. If you haven't checked out our Mercury episode, I highly recommend it. Like that was still one of my favorites.
Oh, that was a good one. Do you remember what the story archetype what we did was for Mercury? I can't remember at all right now.
Give me 1 second.
I remember the sun and moon.
It wasn't beauty, was it? Like
No, that was Venus. Let
we
me pull up
did.
the script.
I know. I'm like,
Mercury. Episode 5. What a throwback.
I know. Oh my God.
Our scripts were this was 17 pages. Um, ooh, ooh. Oh, Peter Pan. Oh,
Oh,
it's
Peter Pan. So
so
Peter Pan was the archetype that Jordan talked about in our Mercury episode. Yes.
cute.
Yes. Not as like relevant with Virgo though.
I was just thinking Peter Pan is green, like Virgo.
I think like Peter Pan more like Gemini, like young, or like
Yeah,
that duality kind of thing.
yeah.
Uh, I'm trying to think like a Peter Pan relevance, but to Virgo, but not really.
I mean, I think it's also the awareness of like immaturity, like that makes you think of Virgo. Like it kind of sparks that Virgo conversation. Like there's definitely not going to be a character that's like that's perfectly Mercury, I guess. But it was
Who's
close enough.
perfectly Virgo?
Well, for that, I was just saying Peter Pan like wasn't perfectly Virgo slash Gemini.
No, I was trying to think of. I'm trying to think of someone.
Oh,
Oh
who
my
is a
God,
character that's
you
perfectly
know
Virgo?
who's like perfectly Virgo?
Who?
Squidward.
Squidward is I like this. Squidward is not is not critical enough of his own clarinet playing skills. Um,
He's just so like
interesting.
by the book, perfectionist. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like an overthinker or anxious. He's just the first one that came to mind though.
No, that's a good one. I like
He's
that.
very like
That's funny.
practical. I don't know, who would you think would be a good Virgo?
Perfect Virgo character.
Hmm.
I would think. Did you watch Pretty Little Liars?
No.
Spencer, for anyone, I think her name was Spencer, for anyone who watched Pretty Little Liars. She was really good at a lot of things. She was dedicated and consistent. What's the word I'm looking for? Not consistent, but I don't know. She stuck to things and she like progressed with her skills. She wasn't super excitable.
Hmm. You know who I also think of?
Hmm.
Monica Geller from Friends.
Oh, I didn't watch Friends.
You didn't watch Friends? Or what
No.
do you think of her? No. I was gonna say Hermione from
Um,
Harry Potter. But
yeah, she could be.
right? Like I feel like she's that over and she like grows into her like full power Virgo-ness. But like, I don't know. Anyway,
No,
Jordan,
this was great. We should have had these conversations in all of them.
I know, maybe we will.
Yeah.
Um, who has dignity in Virgo?
So Mercury is in domicile and exalted in Virgo traditionally. And the joke in the astrology community with that is that Virgo is so perfect that Mercury couldn't be exalted anywhere else because Virgo was already perfect. So that's a good one.
Oh, that's so easy
Um,
to remember too.
yeah. Venus is in fall in Virgo.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And Jupiter is in detriment.
Amazing.
Yeah. Do talk about what you thought about with Venus.
Oh, I just feel like, Venus is kind of like the ultimate of just like creation and beauty and appreciation for what it is and isn't like it's not about the mind, it's about the heart. And when you put that in with a Virgo, that's all like in the mind. I think that can
Yeah.
create a lot of anxiety for both.
Yeah, not just in the mind too, or not just in the heart, but like in the body. Venus is so in the body.
Yeah.
And like Taurus, like Venus wants to feel things and Virgo just feels anxiety. Like Virgo is so because Mercury is the nervous system. So Virgo and Gemini kind of have very enlightened nervous systems, which Venus would not particularly enjoy.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just feel like Virgos, I just want to like put in a little hug box. He
How
like,
many of these episodes have you said, I just want to hug them?
is that something I say?
Oh, yeah. Roll clips of, no, I'm just kidding. But like roll clips of all the times you've said, I just want to take an Aries and I just want to, I don't know, I just want to give them a hug.
Really?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I didn't know that.
I love like when you get to know someone well enough that you pick up on like just like a thing that they say all the time. And I have this coworker. I recently told some coworkers about this podcast too, so if one of them listens to this, they're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But at the end of like every sentence or conversation, it's so cute. She'll go, "Oh goodness," and I can like hear her across the office when she goes, "Oh goodness," and it's just those little things. And then you make someone aware that they say that all the time.
Well, because my first thought was, oh, I want to hug her.
Yeah.
I love our last episode when we would just start cracking up and then it would go silent because we both were laughing so hard it
I know the
didn't
mic
the
stopped
mic
picking it
didn't
up.
pick it
I
up.
know. I was thinking, I was like, I don't want to cut this out of the video, but I hope that the listeners like don't think we just sat there in awkward silence for 3 seconds. We were laughing.
Okay. I need some water. I'm like joking. I love you, Jordan.
I love you too. Look at us not being Virgoan.
I'm glad. I don't need that today. I just don't need Virgo energy at
You're like,
all.
I want to give you a hug, but like, I don't want you.
Please don't make me anxious. I'm anxious enough. Um,
Uh, do we want to
okay.
do? Yeah, go ahead.
So the glyph. Let's talk about the glyph because
Yeah.
this is one when I was like learning the zodiac signs and the glyphs for them always trip me up because of like Scorpio and Virgo looking so much alike. So for those of you who
Mm.
don't know, the glyph for Virgo is an M and it has like a little curly, I call it a curly Q at the end that like goes back up into itself. It like points inside. Whereas the Scorpio one is an M with like a tail. And as soon as I thought of it as a tail and I was like, oh, like a scorpion tail, it
Yeah.
became easy to remember. Um, and I do like, it's interesting that it's an M. Do you have thoughts on that, Jordan, of like why it's an M?
No, so I actually tried like right before hopping on, I tried to look into it a bit. Do you want to tell me your ideas before I tell you what I Googled?
The only thing I could think of is like maiden.
Yeah.
Like
So I
Virgo
don't
is a
know.
maiden.
I didn't, and again, I really only looked for like 2 to 3 minutes, but I found some Reddit posts that I thought would be fun to read. So
Do it.
these are not fact checked. I just want everyone to know these are just Reddit posts I found. But the post says Virgo and Scorpio share similar M symbols because they represent the dual halves of a single ancient constellation. In early astrology, they were one sign known as the Virgo-Scorpio duality before Libra was inserted between them to balance their intense contrasting energies. And again, I don't know. I have not fact checked this. I don't know if it's true. Someone
Interesting.
did ask if they had a source, and they updated their comment with a source, but I have not looked into that source. And then someone else commented, like, this is folklore. All of this is folklore. So, like, yeah. Um, someone said, I once read Virgos are Scorpios with crossed legs, and I've never seen it the same. I've never seen it any other way since. I thought that was a really good comment. I liked that.
Explain that a little bit more,
Like,
Jordan.
you know, like how, like the very, like, feminine way to, like, sit with your legs crossed. You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about? And I think it's kind of it's funny because Virgo is seen as like the virgin, the classy.
Like the prim and proper.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah.
The prude too, like very prude. And so I thought that was very funny. Like Virgo would be the one with the crossed legs, and Scorpio kind of has more of that modern like dominatrix type view, who would be sitting back with their knees open. I thought that was really a funny. I thought that was very funny.
Oh, I was like, is Scorpio? Okay, yeah, no, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that
Um,
was funny.
yeah. So hopefully you know what the glyph looks like now. It's pretty
And you
cool,
won't forget
guys.
it.
You won't forget it. It's either your little M. I also think it's interesting too that it is like a feminine sign. Um, well, I guess this doesn't really work because so is Scorpio. But I was gonna say like it points like inwards, and I'm like that is a very like inward. Virgo is like a very inward sign.
Yeah. I thought about that. And then, like, yeah, I do have the same thought of like, well, Scorpio is also feminine. The only thing I can think of is like, we tend to see Mars as more masculine, which I don't think we should. I do. And especially, Mars is a nocturnal planet. Like, Mars is a yin planet, which is considered feminine.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The yin planets are the Moon, Venus, and Mars.
What?
And then yang is Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. And then Mercury goes in between.
Okay. I would not have put Mars there, but okay. Interesting.
And like, I don't think people would go around saying Mars is a feminine planet,
Yeah.
but it's a nocturnal planet, and we consider nighttime to be the feminine time. So
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
it's making connections that maybe not necessarily everybody would, but I'm just throwing it out there.
I guess it like introduces that duality to like the feminine side. It's like you have the moon, the intuition, you have like the relationships with Venus and the connection, and then you have like the action and the war side of like the feminine, which is pretty cool.
It's interesting, yeah. Um, I think we need more feminine planets.
Um,
I always think about too because as far as naming the planets after Roman gods, only two of them were named after women. And in this perfect world of perfect balance, there's no way we would only have two feminine planets. So I'm curious which ones have been
I
uh
bet you Mars was originally like a feminine name. I
maybe.
heard
I
patriarch.
actually think it's Jupiter. Just like intuitively, I think it's
Jupiter,
Jupiter. And
yeah,
it's interesting
Jupiter
because
was the
I
first one that I was like,
right.
oh, you switched that with Mars. But then I'm like,
I brought that up to Elise. I think we also talked about it when we had her on the show. But I asked her about that. Or no, I don't think I asked her. No, I asked her something else about Jupiter, but I have asked her about this, and it's interesting because she talks a lot about how Zeus was originally a woman. So I'm like, nailed it.
oh, I love that. Okay. Jordan, we've already talked a little bit about some of these roles of Virgo, but can we like list them out?
Yeah, so I have a few, and honestly, I'm interested to talk about these because I don't love them all, and I don't think there's enough of them. Some signs I feel like have like 12 archetypes, and then some have like two. And it's the feminine ones that I feel like don't have enough. But anyway, the maiden slash the virgin, the healer, the servant, the analyst slash the editor. Yeah, you can make those two separate, honestly. Um, and then like the student. This is like the college student. Like Gemini is like the student. Virgo is like,
The professional student.
yeah, like I don't want to go as far. I do think Virgos can be teachers, but I don't want to say as far as a teacher. But like yeah, like
Like the
professional
TA.
student, I
They're
would
the
say like
TA.
TA, like they're a grad student also teaching a few lower level classes. Like I could see that. That's very
Mm.
Virgo.
Would the teacher professor be like Capricorn?
Could be
Okay. Um, okay, let's talk about these. Which ones do you not love?
the Virgin and the Maiden. And
Okay.
I don't love like I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think the analyst is kind of like it's just like a boring archetype to me. And it's like I wish there was something cooler given that this one was assigned the Virgin. I think it's the thing of me just like distasting the language of like a pure virgin and like you're not
Yeah.
pure. And then like, to put that on women and all that, and then we put this on this sign. And even like we haven't actually, I don't think we talked too much about this, but like the imagery for Virgo is like the virgin, the maiden,
Mm.
usually a woman holding like a bushel of wheat.
Yep.
Um, no one else is like that. None of the other signs are like that. Um, there is the water bearer or the water pourer, which is Aquarius. Um,
Yeah, I think it has to do with this like very like subservient, like I'm just doing what I'm told
yeah,
experience. And so that's really interesting. Um, I would love to dissect this pre-patriarchy.
yeah.
And like,
And the other thing, the servant, this is one of those where I wonder where the 12-letter alphabet came into this conversation because the sixth house is um
like ritual and daily.
the people who serve you and the
Mm.
service you give to others. I think more modernly people might include that one, but it like very traditionally the sixth house ruled people you enslaved.
Oh
Uh,
God.
and now more modernly we would say like your employees or like whatever. But so I think like I almost get a little bit uncomfy with like servant. And there's nothing wrong with service. There's nothing wrong with servant, but I think about like this context of like virgin, maiden, servant, and I all starts to kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable,
Yeah.
which doesn't mean we shouldn't like engage with it because we should. But I just don't know which of these things are Virgo, which of these things were just six house. And I had mentioned like the 12-letter alphabet. So in whole sign houses, Virgo, if you follow natural houses, Virgo would rule the sixth house. Um, so that's where all that came from.
I definitely put the priestess here. And that might come from like a
Oh,
lot of the training with Tanae, because I think that's where I heard that from for
I didn't know
first.
that at all, actually.
Yeah,
So what
so
do you
and
mean,
I
like
think
you put the priest, like this is where the priest,
like the
the
archetype
archetype
of
is
the
in sixth house
priestess,
or is in
y-
Virgo?
Virgo.
Oh,
Like
okay, okay.
yeah, 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 of this like idea of being like devoted to something. Um and like partaking in ritual and that sort of like daily study
Mhm.
would be very like Virgo energy.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like I don't disagree with any of that because of Elise. being a Taurus sun with her Taurus in 10th house, I feel like I just see land priestess as Taurus in 10th house. I think that's
I
just
mean,
because of
but
Elise.
but priestesses are not just with the land, right?
They're
There's
not just
priestesses
Elise.
of
I know.
no, I mean they're you know what I mean? You can be a
Yeah, yeah.
priestess of fire, a
Mhm.
priestess of sex. Like there's all these different things. So like we happen to engage with like the land priestess for sure, right? Like priestesses of the sacred wild. Um and I do think that can definitely lead to like Taurus energy, but that like ritual and
It's still
devotion.
Virgo for sure. I
Yes,
just I
like
just think like
for
kind of
sure.
in a funny way. I just like I have this stereotype in my head of, of where a priestess belongs
That's so funny.
just because
But
of
yeah,
Elise's chart.
yeah. I think like after listening to some Tanae's like reasoning and stuff and you know, particularly in the natural houses, I think it would make sense to put it here.
Hmm.
Um, and so along with that, I was like, I could not. So our power statements are like embodiment statements, whatever we call them, right? Can we like review? Because I always forget them. It's like Aries is I am,
Hmm.
Taurus is uh oh man, I almost said I bake.
That's cute. I curl on couch.
Couch. I eat cookie.
I light candle. That's not, you're not on TikTok much, are you?
No, not
There's like a
really.
TikTok trend that matches this joke right now.
Oh my gosh. We should make one.
But I know, I just thought about that. I was like, I really could actually.
You should. Uh,
And then Gemini.
oh wait, what was Taurus?
Oh, sorry, I have.
I have.
Hmm.
Taurus, I mean Gemini is I think.
Hmm.
Leo,
Cancer.
oh yeah. Cancer was I feel.
Hmm.
Leo was I create.
Hmm.
Virgo is I analyze.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And I actually don't love that one. Do you?
Yeah, I don't. I just figured that was probably the most, because again, I was gonna be like, I think, and I'm like, no. And then I
Yeah.
was like, I anxious. And I'm like, no.
I feel bad.
I perfect.
Yeah. Oh, some people actually do put I perfect. So this is
Oh.
one of the ones that like there's kind of a few. There's I analyze, I perfect, and I serve. Um, I kind of
Oh.
don't love any of them. I perfect would probably feel the most accurate. I analyze is the one that I kind of I think I like the most, but I don't know. It's kind of one of those where I feel like Virgo just hasn't been given enough attention by the community. And maybe I'm totally wrong, like, but that's just like the vibe I've picked up where I just don't like these as much, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of do like these. I think the
Good.
analyzing is like so real with a Virgo, right? Like out of all the signs, it's going to be the one that will break everything down into like a lot of detail. I perfect. That's so interesting after I create. Like if we're talking about our connections of
Oh,
like
that's
when
true,
we go
yeah.
through it, the I perfect, it's like I create and I just like and now I'm gonna like perfect it into the things.
Yeah.
Um I serve kind of falls into that like daily ritual thing again, like the priestess um vibe. So I think I like I perfect the best.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, do you want to tell us about the connections to the other like mutable signs, or where do you want to start, Jordan?
So first I want to start just like quickly talking about Virgo versus Leo. So the sign that came before Virgo and kind of like the sign Virgo reacts to. So Leo wants to be the star of the show, wants to be center stage, wants a lot of praise and appreciation, loves the glory. Virgo doesn't need all of that. I think Virgo likes appreciation. I don't think Virgo needs like to be put on a stage and
Mm,
like have the world see their appreciation. I think they just want like a good job from their boss or whatever. Um, I think Virgo has more humility than a Leo does. I think like a Leo would go out there and be like, I just did this, and a Virgo wouldn't want to do that. And I think Virgo's a lot more calm, which again, like can be interesting because it's a mercurial sign and has that nervous system running, but that
yeah.
Earth does calm it down a bit. I would say, and calm, not in terms of anxious, because Virgo is anxious, but calm in relation to Leo and the Sun, who are just like burning up and like there's a lot of like
I
heat
think,
and energy just thrown at you.
yeah, I feel like the earthy energy makes Virgo like steadier.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so that's all I had for Virgo versus Leo. And then Virgo versus Gemini. So Gemini and Virgo square each other, so they're both mutable signs, and Virgo and Mercury both share their ruler, which is Mercury. And Virgo is earthy and it's the nocturnal feminine side of Mercury, whereas Gemini is the airy masculine side of Mercury. I mentioned like Virgos don't need the appreciation the same way a Leo does. I would kind of say the same thing about a Gemini. A Gemini, honestly, not a Gemini as much as a Leo. Like Leo really does crave that praise. A Gemini does want it. But I
A
think like
Gemini is like thinking and talking too much to like receive the
that's what I'm
praise.
saying. I'm like, if they don't get it, I do think they will move on to their next activity, whereas a Leo will sit and think about it for a while.
Yeah.
A Gemini wants it, but we'll move on. Like I said, a
We
Virgo,
all
I think,
want
will hold on.
acceptance and appreciation and love, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Just in different ways. It's expressed
Yeah.
in different ways.
Um, and I think Virgo has more patience than a Gemini, again, with that earthiness. And it's again interesting to talk about like Virgo being the least mutable of the mutable because every time I keep saying some of these earthy words, I'm like, oh no, I must be wrong because Virgo is mutable and this doesn't sound mutable at all. But no, Earth tames some of that mutability.
Yeah.
So Virgo versus Sagittarius, this is the other sign that Virgo squares. Um, these two signs probably get along the least. There's like the most tension between these two signs. Um, Sagittarius is a lot more excitable and optimistic. It's funny because again, at the beginning of the episode, I still haven't decided if I'll keep that part in or not. We'll see how it looks in the edit. But you mentioned like you were feeling pessimistic today, and like that is very Virgo. Like Virgo is kind of seen as like the glass half empty, if anything. Uh, Sagittarius is definitely glass half full. Sagittarius is very excited, optimistic, very bright. Sagittarius is more likely to be impulsive than a Virgo. I think the thing too, that imagery I always bring up with the fire signs and Sagittarius being the wildfire, I kind of
Mm,
think like I think Sagittarius is a little bit like less thinking about what they do before they do it, and they just do it and kind of like a wildfire, like once the tree catches on fire, like you can't undo it. Um, I think that's a little bit more Sag, and Virgo is
yeah.
gonna think about it a lot before they do something. And so I think I heard this somewhere, but I thought this was a really good way to explain it. So Virgo will want to slow something down to figure it out, whereas Sag just wants to jump in and figure it out as they jump in and like in the moment. So Sag will say, let's move to another country and learn the language while we live there. And Virgo will say, let's learn the language before we move there. And
Mm.
I don't think that's exactly perfect because they do say you should move, like the best way to learn a language is to be immersed in it. But I do think, like, aside from that little minor detail, I do think that's like the perfect analogy of like neither of those are necessarily right or wrong. They're just different ways of going about something, and they both have their pros and cons. But it really shows you like the difference between how Sagittarius and a Virgo would handle a decision.
Oh my gosh, no, I love that. I think it makes perfect sense. Like
Yeah.
that over analyzing of the things. And Virgo, I think would just like make sure they have like the packing list and everything is like figured out to the T, where Sag is like, oh, I don't know where I'm gonna live, but we're gonna get
I'm
there and
here.
figure it out. And I'm here.
Yeah, Sagittarius would definitely like have their bags packed and the plane ticket booked without having a place to stay yet.
Totally.
And like again, it's that pros and cons. Like the how cool is it that a Sag will just go adventure without anxiety? Like that's really cool. But also like they probably run into a lot more issues than a Virgo might because a Virgo did think of things. A Virgo was a lot safer and like thought things through, yeah. And then Virgo versus Pisces. I love thinking about Virgo versus Pisces. Something about this axis, I think because Virgo is the physical and Pisces is the spiritual. And so it's just very relevant to everything that we talk and think about.
Hmm.
So Virgo focuses on the details and Pisces is more big picture. That's Mercury versus Jupiter. And I heard this somewhere else and I really loved it. Virgo is Virgo is words. Virgo is very like, but not in an artsy way, like because Pisces is still poetry, but Virgo is just words. And Pisces, it's other forms of expression. So it's paint and dancing, and then yes, poetry. So it's
Hmm.
still ways of getting information across, but one is just more artsy and one is more straightforward.
Interesting. Like Virgo's gonna like write the novel, and Pisces is gonna like write the epic poem.
I, yes, I'm kind of thinking like Virgo is going to write a speech that tells the story of something that happened in history. It's not necessarily the most narrative, it could be, but it could also just be like a play-by-play. And Pisces is the one who turned it into a musical. And like they're still telling the same story. One is just more one is more straightforward and one is more artsy and performative.
Hmm.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
And then both Pisces and Virgo are very service oriented. We haven't gotten to Pisces yet, obviously, but one of the keywords for Pisces is charitable. And we've already talked about how Virgo is very servicey. So Virgo is the physical healer and Pisces is the spiritual healer
Hmm. Where does the service orienting come in
for Virgo.
for both of them? Like, what makes them? Is it because they're like, I'm trying to think, like, Mercury isn't necessarily like a service oriented planet.
Hmm.
Uh, Earth, is it Earth?
So I don't know. This is kind of where I mentioned like this could be like a natural houses thing. Like is service more of a sixth house
Mm.
attribute and not as much Virgo? But then like there is Pisces, and the only thing I can think of is like they're both feminine. Um,
And feminine associated with healing and service, I guess.
maybe like I kind of like one of my keywords for feminine is not service.
I know, same.
And that's the thing. So I haven't like decided like am I afraid for service to be attributed to femininity because of the patriarchy, or was it attributed to femininity because of the patriarchy? Is it none of the above?
Yeah, because service does feel like a negative word, but it's not. It's like
No,
giving,
it's
it's
not.
empathy, it's compassion, it's like all these things that are feminine. Hmm. Feminine driven, not that masculine is not those things, I guess.
Don't worry, not all men, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That's something that like I still need to figure. I'm still laughing.
Not all men. Bleh, bleh,
Blah,
bleh,
blah,
bleh.
blah. No, that's something like I still need to figure out because like I can see Jupiter being more service oriented. Like Jupiter is I just kind of see like travel and adventure to have a little bit more service to it. And that like it makes sense in my brain, but like the words I'm saying don't necessarily make it make sense. But I just like I can picture Jupiter being service oriented.
Hmm.
Maybe because like Jupiter expands, Jupiter like I picture like Jupiter gives. Jupiter is also a benefic planet, so I think of Jupiter gives opportunities and gives benefits.
Expand was my card pull this morning for the daily card pull.
Oh yay. Um, but that doesn't so I can kind of explain Pisces, but yeah, Virgo, I don't know where service comes in. I mean, like the land serves us. You could say that. I don't know.
And we serve the land. It's like reciprocity. I don't know. There is definitely something triggering about the word serve. Like every
Yeah.
time we say it, I'm like, no, but like it is in service. Being priestesses and serving the land and having that reciprocity is like super important to what we do. But this is interesting. We should pull
Yeah,
up a
I think
card.
I just don't love it being like assigned to someone. Like
Yeah.
I don't like that like this sign is like the sign of service and on top of that it is the virgin and the maiden. I just don't like that connection.
Wasn't there like an association with the Vestal virgins? They were like basically like priestesses dedicated to Vesta of the home. So this was like in Roman times.
Hmm.
Are they associated with Virgo? I know they're associated with Vesta, like the uh Yeah, so the zodiac, I'm Googling right now. The zodiac sign Virgo is symbolically linked to the Vestal Virgins, which is the archetypal theme of sacred service, and the Roman goddess Vesta. So that represents purity, devotion, maintenance, like maintenance of order. So that's where I think a lot of this is coming from, is this
Mm.
idea of like devotion to Hestia. Also, natural houses, sixth house of like that's like the devotion and the daily chores and the things of like the home.
Mm.
Um, so that could be where that's coming from. And they were like devoted caretakers and servants of the community. So that kind of sounds like where all of this is coming from.
This would be an interesting one to read. Dominguez's Juniors.
This would be an interesting one to read Evo Dominguez Jr.'s book.
Oh, you nailed that. I'm so jealous. Yeah, no, I'd be curious what they all wrote about Virgo.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Yeah, I don't either. I have the first four, and then I think I have Scorpio ebook.
I was gonna borrow them all from Elise when I went last time, but I had to miss it. So, okay, so Virgo and Pisces, and then
And we'll go back to Taurus. So this one, Taurus, I had a lot of like unfinished thoughts of that weren't like completely locking into place. So I'm curious what you're going to think of these. And I wrote in my notes, unfinished thought here, see what Ember thinks. So Virgo, I wrote this is a little bit, again, this doesn't make sense. It's a little bit free writing, so I'm just going to read it as it is. Virgo nurtures with a purpose. Taurus has a natural nurturing element and an instinct to cultivate. And then I wrote again, Virgo nurtures with a purpose, like growing plants for medicine. And then I wrote, but Taurus grows food, which also nurtures, and it's also like growing for a purpose. So it's kind of an unfinished thought because I think like yes, Taurus grows food and that nurtures, but I think like Taurus also grows because Taurus enjoys growing. Taurus enjoys
mm,
farming and gardening. I don't necessarily like I think a Virgo can enjoy gardening. I think a Virgo doesn't do it because they enjoy it. I think they do it because they want the medicine, the plant medicine.
like they analyze. So as you're talking, what's coming to my mind is like some of those healer properties, right? Of like they are going to know the properties of all of those different herbs, all the things in the garden. Whereas a Taurus is like, this is yummy. This is like nurturing and like will eat,
Yeah. I
you
think
know?
going along that lines, and this might be what you're saying too, I think like a Virgo enjoys that study part, like enjoys the learning
Yeah.
about the plant outside of just being with the plant. Like enjoys that part where you're sitting inside with a book reading about it, but not actually growing the plant right then and
Engaging.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the Taurus wants to be in the earth, like
Yeah.
with the plant
Fingers
itself.
in the
And
dirt for sure.
yeah, and you might not learn all the properties of that thing from there, but like connecting with it and intuitively. Yeah, I could see
That
that,
makes
Jordan.
sense. Yeah, no, that's all it's all coming together. And then Virgo versus Capricorn. This is another one that I heard from someone else that you can like see the growth and maturity in the earth signs. So Taurus doesn't really want to sit in the discomfort. Again, Venus. Um, Taurus doesn't really want to reflect on what they did wrong. Virgo can. Virgo will sit in that discomfort. You may argue for much too long. Virgo will analyze the ins and outs, but get really stuck in like what they did wrong. Not only just stuck there, but they don't necessarily come up with a plan of like, what do I do with this information? It kind of gets like, it goes too far, obviously, with the self-criticism.
Does that have to do with it being mutable? Like it's because it's not like it's not fixed. Like the when you
I
describe it
think
like,
it's actually the planet ruler. I think it's a Mercury thing.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
just all the details. And then Capricorn, being a Saturn ruled sign, has the wisdom and the maturity to recognize what they did wrong, to reflect on it, and then to do something about it. And not in like not in an impulsive way, I guess, in a very like thoughtful way.
Because it's got
Um,
Daddy Saturn.
yeah. And then I wrote both Virgos and Capricorn are critical.
Interesting. Cool. That was a really great analysis, Jordan, of
Thanks.
all
Well,
of
that
those.
unfortunately, like I said, that one wasn't mine. I heard that from someone else, but it is
I mean
nice.
all of them. I just mean all of them. Like going
Oh,
through all of these was really cool. Good job.
thanks. What do you have for magic for Virgo? What's come to you for this?
So this was, I think, based on natural houses stuff. But basically, thinking of Virgo as this like dedicated daily magic. So I think Virgo is the process of like developing rituals. So I think this could be anything from a daily mantra that you say in the mirror every day, or a certain way you walk home and you like walk that path very mindfully every single day, or you're doing like your daily altar work and you're like drawing a card every single day. I think I think Virgo is very representative of like some sort of sacred routine. And so that came to mind too. And then part of thinking of Virgo as like purity and cleansing and whatnot, like you could use Virgo energy as like cleansing rituals, I think too. But I really like this like idea of the daily ritual and just like rituals in general.
What came to mind during that I'm not sure where I want to go with this is I did think about like allow space for that mutability. Um, and I don't want people to take that too far because there is so much like power in this routine and essentially like building the egregore of something by doing it over and over and over again. But yeah, allowing the space for a little bit of change if you have to do something in a different order. But I also know that's very upsetting of Virgo.
I mean, I think it's one of those things, right, when we're talking about magic in the sense of these signs, right? We're talking about it in like an archetypal way. We're talking about how to like incorporate this. So what I think I'm saying here is that like if you are somebody that's like, wow, I really wish I could get into like a daily magical practice, like call on the power of Virgo, like look at where it is in your chart and see where in your life that like Virgo might be calling you and see maybe if you can make like a daily ritual around whatever that might be, like in your houses or something like that. And so like just harnessing that energy in like a positive, productive way, not in like a crippling like this is gonna give me anxiety if I don't do it this specific way.
Going into that, I'm gonna share this a little bit because, if it helps someone, that's great. Um, you are obviously practicing with natural houses, which at this point I don't practice with. I'm like coming to it a little bit. I'm not practicing with it, but like I'm I don't know what I want to say, but like more open to the idea of it through our conversations. But you're talking about like calling on Virgo to enhance like a dedication. And I did something similar to planets I have in my sixth house, not related to Virgo, but that I've had major success with that. And I thought it was
Mhm.
Saturn specifically that I had worked with, and in my mind that is a Saturn thing and not necessarily a sixth house thing, but it did happen to be in sixth house. So maybe analyze your sixth house.
And overanalyze
I know, and think about it again and again and again.
and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Okay, our tarot card. Did you know the
Wait,
tarot card?
actually, no, going back into that, because this will just be an easy way to put it in. I think I know what you're going to say, but going into the whole natural houses thing, so I want you to convince me, whatever. I have Virgo in 11th house. What does this mean in natural
So,
houses?
what do you
Are we
mean?
getting confused every time we bring this
I
up?
think so because the way like I look at natural houses, it's like it's it's looking at two different areas about a
Right,
topic.
so so you would connect my 6th and 11th house
Yes.
together. So how would you connect those two together
Well, what are we talking about? Give me an example.
for me?
Well, like what in what so like you're like I would look to if we're talking about I mean this is a perfect example actually with what we were just doing with Tanae and like our summit was like looking at where you like where you may thrive as a priestess. So if we take that like Virgo priestess archetype, right?
Mhm.
Places you would look would be in your sixth house, and you would look at like what sign your sixth house is, what like element is there, if you have any planets there, and then also where you're like Virgo in your 11th house and what like lives there. So it's like different options and different like reflections of this specific archetype.
Okay, fair enough.
So for you, right, your sixth house um is what? What's your sixth house?
Aries, and I have Saturn and Venus, so that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I think like, if we want to just go very basic, right? Like it's like a fire sign. So like having some sort of dedication and commitment to like creativity. Um yeah, creativity, inspiration, like working out, athleticism, creating that might be like very like something around your body might be very like inspiring and like feel like something you could dedicate yourself to. 11th house. Do you have anything
Just
over there?
North Node.
Okay,
Because
interesting. So like a commitment to like community and whatnot,
yeah.
I guess too.
I was thinking before you explained further, I was thinking you were gonna say like we're in a coven of priestesses and like a coven is in the 11th house.
Yeah, so, I
Yeah.
mean, yes. So like that is the perfect example.
Yeah. And then tell us about the Virgo tarot card.
Do you know what it is?
I do.
Okay. So I did not before this. I had to like research it. And it is the Hermit. Is the card for Virgo. And so the Hermit is about like discernment, reflection, and paying attention to the details that you might miss by like reflecting inwards, right? And usually it's about connecting with the self and the present, which is like very Virgo-y energy. Um, I thought it was interesting that the Hermit is usually depicted as a man because Virgo is like a feminine sign, but I don't know. I think like I think of like this idea of retreating into a cave or the woods, and that's like very uh like earthy energy.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes
do you have
sense.
any do you have anything to add to that? It was pretty like straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward. The only thing I could think of is that when I first got into astrology, when I first got into just witchcraft in general, and I was exploring several different things, I remember one of the first astrology tarot connections I learned was Virgo and Hermit. Because
Oh,
that's when I started. Actually, I don't even remember when this was, but I started making monthly altars to the signs, and Virgo, I think,
oh,
was the first one. So I had printed out like a hermit photo.
that's so cute.
Yeah, I think I posted that somewhere long ago.
Um, Jordan, are you ready for our game?
I am. I'm so excited.
Yes. All right, Jordan. All right, Jordan. So our game that we have been playing that has been so much fun. What would a Virgo do? Are you ready?
What would a Virgo do?
Woo! Okay. Your friend calls you crying about a breakup at 11 p.m. when you're about to go to bed.
I think. See, I'm a little bit thinking of the herbs, and I'm kind of like in my head, like joking, like Virgo would be like, here's a tea recipe. Now go to bed. I think, does this Virgo like to stay up late? Oh, you're about to go to bed.
Yep.
I think Virgo would be like, I'm free tomorrow at 11 a.m. You can call me then. Before said phone call, Virgo has thought through everything that they want to say, what they think about the relationship, and then they're on the phone and they're like, here's what I think you need to do, and do it or don't do it, period.
Yeah, I think that's fair. My thought was that like, it's your friend, right? So a Virgo would probably stay on the phone and like overanalyze this breakup and ask like be on some sort of like pilot of like what happened? What happened next? Why did this happen? Like asking the questions about like while laying in bed, but then be so thrown off that like the routine got messed up and then be super tired the next day and like
Yeah, fair. That nervous system, man.
um okay, you're hosting a dinner party and a few people haven't RSVP'd yet.
I think I think Virgo I think Virgo would would reach out a couple times like to everyone who hadn't RSVP'd and definitely at some point be like, well, I guess they're not coming. And then if they try to show up, be like, you didn't RSVP.
Um, you receive a text message from someone you're close with that says, "We need to talk."
I think we're about what? I think like there is definitely the I think this could depend Virgo to Virgo. I think some Virgos would definitely start panicking. I think some wouldn't. I think some would take a second and not freak out until after the about what.
Hmm.
So that could go either way.
Yeah, I thought like they would be like asking questions. Like there would need to be some follow-up questions. Like we need to
Yeah.
talk about what
Yeah.
versus like me versus me where I would be like, "Oh God, why did you say that? What's wrong?" Like your boss gives you an assignment that is very vague and unclear. And it's your boss.
Um,
Do you like your boss? You don't really like your boss.
I think if they've had this job for a while, like I think a Virgo can handle that. I think they would have caught on to like what the usual routine was. If they were new, I could see like a Virgo reaching out to other people, like higher ups, maybe like lateral supervisors or HR. I don't know if you could go to HR for this, but I could see Virgo talking to other people for help unless they'd been around for a while, in which case I think they would have figured out how to handle this by then.
Yeah, or like they try and do the thing and like I was like thinking about this spiral of like over analyzing what needs to be done and then doing like way more than they actually need to and
Mm.
just I don't know. These are really hard to write these questions
Was that
because
the
like
last one?
I have one more.
Okay.
I don't know. This was how does a Virgo get ready for date night?
Ooh, you don't think about Virgos dating.
I know. I was like but I was like, why do they
Virgo.
do it?
Yeah, I think I think a Virgo takes an everything shower.
In everything shower.
Mhm.
Yes.
A Virgo is like perfectly wax shaved, plucked, and
Right? Like putting on if it's like if they wear makeup, like I feel like it would be like perfect. Like it would be this like
I think they would get ready like way too long in advance. I do think, you know that joke of like getting ready to leave for somewhere, but you're just chronically early, so you get ready early and then you just have to sit around in your makeup and nice clothes for an hour. Like I think that would be Virgo, just like waiting for the ride. I think
that's
Virgo would
so
be upset
funny.
if they were 1 minute late to getting picked up. I actually, so I wasn't sure if you were gonna do the game or not, so I wrote down two before I gave up, and I'm gonna read you my two.
You're like, I don't care what yours are, Ember. Let me
No, 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 no.
stop.
I'm really glad you did it. I enjoyed it. I lied. I only wrote one, but I think it's a fun one. Okay. You're the maid of honor and you're throwing a bachelorette party with all the other
Oh
bridal party
God.
people.
Triggered.
And someone suggests hiring a tarot reader. What does the Virgo maid of honor say or react?
Have they been vetted? Like, are they a good tarot reader? Are
Mhm.
they, I don't know, like
That's
I
a good
think
answer. I like that one.
yeah, like I don't want to be like they would say like, oh, yes or no. First of all,
Mhm.
I think like you said somebody else suggested a tarot reader.
Yeah.
I think the Virgo would be like a little like, I had a plan and this was like the scheduled plan, and I don't know if we're gonna have time to put a tarot
I know.
reader
I
in
think
front of
Virgo would be
everybody.
like, if everyone wants it, I guess we could try to fit it in. Like,
Yeah, like definitely that.
I
And
do
then
think
like
you're right, though. Virgo would be like, let me look up the reviews before we commit to
yes.
anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. Oh my gosh, I like playing this game.
I love this game.
I know.
Do you love playing with us? Leave us a review or a comment.
Tell us. Okay, yeah, that was great. I do have a couple things that I actually want to talk about in this outro, but I guess first we'll start off with Ember. What do you think about Virgo now?
I just want to hug them.
I
Sorry.
just want to
No,
put them in a box and give
I
them a
just
hug.
I don't know why I feel bad for Virgos. I that's like they're like also I feel like you're right that there's not enough like information out there about Virgos. And I think if we take this like idea of the servant, this like subdued like in the head archetype and make it into like this is like a priestess, this is like a ritual, this is serving, like it becomes a little bit more empowering in my mind. Um yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Um, I also As we're like here at our halfway point, we've now finished our halfway point episode of this zodiac, and we've still been thinking ahead about like what do we want to do after this? And I was thinking again of like what would it look like to do the Sabbats? So kind of just putting out another call out of like what other series would you guys like to see? We still have like 6 more months, so no rush.
It's gonna go
Um,
so fast.
and then I meant to bring this up in the intro, but you read Fourth Wing and you loved it. And
I
everyone else
did.
should read it.
Oh my gosh, Jordan's obsessed with Fourth Wing, and our coven started like a book club for Fourth Wing. And I was like, I don't have time to read it. I can't do this.
And
And
he
then I
finished
picked it
before
up
you
and I was
either.
like, well, I have FOMO and now I need to read it because they had like a whole group that I wasn't in. So I obviously wanted to be in the
Where in
group.
your chart is that? I think that's Gemini. I think that's Venus and Moon conjunct in Gemini. Go on.
Needing to be involved in FOMO,
I
absolutely.
think the
Like,
FOMO, yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, my Chiron, I think, is in the 11th house. Um, but like it definitely was incredible. I read it. I read it probably the fastest I've read a book in a really
That
long
was
time.
really fast. I'm glad to hear that's not your normal because I was like, dang, she's doing this real quick.
Everyone was like, "I'm on chapter 6," and I'm like, "I'm on chapter 27.
I'm almost done.
I'm almost done." Oh, the next morning, I'm done.
Yeah. No, and I am for anyone who has we're not going to talk about spoilers obviously, but for anyone who has finished the series thus far up to Onyx Storm, um see, I can't even tell them like things you have said because that would spoil people who have read it all, but
Wait,
like
Jordan, let's do like an episode about Fourth Wing and like its relation to magic and dragons and all the things.
I mean, I would love to just talk about Fourth Wing.
We can do
So,
that. It's our podcast,
I
Jordan. We
know.
can do whatever we want.
But anyway, if you've read the whole series, I just think about like what it's like watching her read it and all the things she keeps saying, and I can't respond to them. Every character she mentions, everything that something happens, I'm like, ah, I'm dying. So,
I cannot wait. It was my honor, Jordan.
oh my God, it's been my honor. Oh, what are we talking about next? Do we know?
I don't know. You
I
were talking.
checked.
Oh, you mean like actually in our next episode?
Oh, yes. I checked the
Fourth
schedule.
Wing?
I don't. Oh, well, no, you need to finish it before we talk about
Okay. Maybe I will.
that. Honestly. And then no one's going to listen to it because we're going to talk all spoilers.
Whether you're just beginning to explore astrology and spirituality, deepening your own spiritual practice, or just curious about the mysteries of the universe, we are so happy you are here with us. This is a space for curiosity, connection, and exploring the magic that exists on this earth and around it.
Yes. And if you have any comments or questions, like I said, we love hearing from you and would love to hear from
We
you
love
more.
hearing from you. Please.
We are loving this process of building a little community of astrology and spiritual students, and everything that we do and offer is linked in the show notes. We hope you enjoyed talking about Virgo as much as we did. There's still so much to uncover about Virgo, I would say. Next time, I think we're going to talk about Ember's and I's experience in our coven. What does it look like to be in a coven, how we join this coven, and the future of the coven. This podcast is my practice of asking big questions, uncovering the hidden truths, and creating an accessible space for others to do the same.
And I'm so grateful to be learning alongside Jordan and all of you, sharing our resources and diving into what it means to connect with the cosmos. Thank you so much for being part of this, and we will see you back in the study room every other Tuesday.